As for the tuning protocol, a lot of great advice was given. For some positives I found, I found the discussion on transitioning a debate from 10 students to about 25 to 30 students, there was a lot of positive ideas that were thrown out in the comments, changing the structure of the debate and including more scripted narration for the students to debate with, maybe even dividing the information up into categories, and even creating a ways for each student to have their own role, whether if it's planter or if it's actually being the congressman. And I thought that was very good advice to be able to use in future years.
Okay. My question is, how would you do this in like a normal high school middle school classroom with like 25 plus kids? Like, are there enough people to go around for them, or?
We were thinking about that, and the thing that I thought at first was just putting multiple people for one person, which would get complicated when you're trying to talk, but maybe electing like a speaker for the group and to be that person, and the rest of the people could be like his agents or like his posse or something.
It's
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know if you have
I agree with that. You could go as far as to possibly even go to the effort to make 25 talking heads, which is you can do. There's a lot of people you can go with to use that for, because there's a lot of people we didn't even go to, like Benjamin Franklin, George Mason, figures like that. So it all depends on how you want to treat it and how many kids you have in your classroom.
I'm sorry if I'm cutting anybody off. Mine's kind of based off hers. And you said that bring up 25 people. How would you management-wise, behavior-wise, deal with it? Because we just talked freely. You have 25 students all trying to.
I do.
What kind of protocol would you use?
Well, I would give them basic instructions at the beginning of the debate compared to us, because I knew that we'd be able to do it pretty manageable, because there's only 10 of us debating compared to if there's 25. I would do more of a all right, there's respect, you gotta have your head raised, and I will go in order of whoever puts their head up first, and I will only limit to 5 people, 5 heads per debate, depending on how long they talk. I have the discretion to add an extra head if I can, and then I'll also limit to, if people want to assent but they don't have anything to add, the here, throw that in there, just give them the feel of how they would debate back then. So, I was glad to hear that many agreed that the lesson was concise and filling, with lots of information. I did not want to present too much information for them and overwhelm them and not bore them with too little information. I was glad to hear that we had written a line of information correctly.
I think it's very clear. I'm just amazed y'all got all that in 40 minutes. You think we did notes, we did exit and entry cards, we debated, and I never felt rushed during the debate. I thought it was a lot of fun, and everyone was able to speak, and so I think very good time management, and very good in different activities.
For some negative things though, we assumed that the slot notes would be easy to follow and write in information, but as we learned during the pushing feedback, the students asked for some more time when we presented the opportunity, but instead we continued on and moved forward without allowing her time to finish writing in the terms. As an upcoming teacher, rushing can be an issue of being nervous, and after that instance, I need to be more attentive to student progress.
national government doing today? Printing money, they could raise their own militia. It was all about the state.
Did everybody get that slide? All right. It was America's first government. More components that didn't have a president. There was no top guy, what we perceive as a top guy. There was a Congress, but there was only...
Yeah, when we were filling in notes, Hunter asked if everyone had time, and I said no, and just kept going.
I didn't hear you, I'm sorry.
That's okay. But yeah, and you just take some time to make sure, maybe give them the chance to answer. Because I'm sure kids might not be super willing to yell out no. So.
Based on on the interaction of the students in the debate and the correctness of the slot notes collected, most of the students seemed to take in the content and understand the lesson's objectives. Their entry cards showed that they had some knowledge coming into the lesson and proved as a good diagnostic. And the exit cards and enter cards showed us what information was gleaned from the lesson. There were instances where some of the students did not fill in blanks on the slot notes and also sometimes seen doodling. This example shows that the lesson did have some holes in capturing student interest. Proximity may correct this issue dependent upon the student. In some instances, it may take some corrective pushing. Another student missed a few slots due to the speed of the lecture. In this instance, this issue is easy to correct by just allowing more time for the students to fill in their notes and constantly asking if everybody is up to date with their notes and if they need more time.
Where all the states were equally represented and had all the power to do everything was not really working. But at the same time, this is an important thing, they knew that this new central government was still about representing the people in the states.
After giving this lesson, I have only but a few last general items to mention. First, my ability to present a lecture in an engaging manner, I believe, has drastically improved in the last few weeks. I've improved my eye contact with students and my pronunciation is clearer and more precise. My movement in the classroom has room for improvement. As for the lesson itself, some improvements include creating better big questions and preparation for the material.
Learning objectives. All right. The big question for today is, what did America's government look like before the Constitution? And second, what were the viewpoints of those in favor of the Constitution? And
Those opposed.
those opposed.
All right. Okay, so by the end of this class, you'll see that you'll be able to identify the major themes of the Articles of Confederation and then also how they transitioned into the Constitution. And you'll also be able to explain the difference between Federalists and Anti-Federalists.
Our big questions, as you just saw, did not tell the students what they're going to learn, but make generalizations about the topic. We should have designed the questions to be more focused on the SOL standards. I felt that more preparation and fluency of the subject matter would have increased my comfortability with the presentation and with the lecture and with the lesson. My nerves are a big problem in my presentation flaws, even though they're very underlying issues. And one of my goals in the future would be to eliminate some of these very small nuances and to be able to iron out the lessons into a more concise and consistent manner. Finally, I'd like to be thankful for this opportunity to be able to watch myself in a way that I can critique myself. It's very hard to critique yourself when you're actually not viewing yourself. And to be able to see what traits of my teaching style I can improve upon and what traits I can take out of my teaching style. I see a lot of improvement in my style, and I'm looking forward to being able to fix some previously mentioned issues and stabilize many of my strengths. Thank you for viewing this, and I hope you've enjoyed this video.